There are other key benefits of top-down designs I would like to point out here. The very first thing is regeneration performance. Instead of having parallel or cross-referenced regeneration between the components, with a top-down design approach, we are using the regeneration in a very structured manner. If you have unnecessary external references, managing dependencies will be a challenge, and in most cases, ended up creating circular references. Also here, I would like to emphasize the benefits of top-down with the PDM systems, things like unnecessary checkout, issues with the migrations and handling of ghost issues and etc. And complex interdependencies will lead to spaghetti references, which will affect the performance and traceability and reuse of the large assembly. Fortunately, in Creo, we can use the reference scope control to specify what is allowed as a assembly reference to avoid some of these issues. We can use the reference view. I'll get into these details, but we can also use the reference viewer to trace the references between the parts. The reference viewer will show the references in a graph, which will make the review very easy. So in summary, deploying Creo complete top-down design solution will improve the quality of the design and the effective collaboration, but also will give the performance improvement that Creo users always looking to. So let me quickly change to Creo here. So what I'm interested here is I got a subassembly that actually drive this cutting deck and the wheel assembly. Okay, so let us look at the top level of that subassembly here, and let us open that in a window of its own. So what I'm going to do here is I would like to assemble this pedal assembly here. Okay, so let me suppress that to start with. Okay, so let me maybe just delete that. So when I add a new components into my subassembly, the real challenge is there is a, maybe users who like to there'll be some new users there. They want to just come and just copy the references from each individual components because they probably don't care about some of those references and creating circular references. So in order to stop doing bad references, Creo got inbuilt tools, which is really useful in this case. If you just look at the component references, the way the reference creation work is, I can control when a new component is being added to the assembly, what the users are allowed to, whether they are allowed to use the permitted to reference all the components, or maybe just the skeleton, maybe just inside the subassembly, or none of them. I can also completely disable this functionality, or I can give them some exceptions with the warning confirmations. When again, the same case, rather than simply copying and pasting surfaces between components and subassemblies, we can control that, saying that instead of giving permission to copy references from all geometry, if the published geometries exist in the model, let them just use that published geometry. So being a team manager, I have the full control how the other team members can use this. Okay, and I can reference I can notify them the forbidden surfaces by different colors here. In this case, I'm just going to use my default colors. So now if I just go and assemble my pedal assembly, which I showed you before, as soon as I bring that here, you can see something went wrong here. I think we go back. It's all right, understood. So if I just activate my subassembly, because I specify the scope of my external components. So in this case, I would like to actually, previously when I imported, previously it was actually showing the top level assembly. So what I'm actually doing now is I activated my subassembly so that when I bring the new subassembly pedal assembly here we go. So as soon as I bring, all other external parts here is being forbidden, which shows in red color. So what that means is I can't really, the users can technically go and pick any other surfaces based on my settings. If I click on one of this red color surface, the system will give me a warning message saying that, we are violating the environment scope here. I can confirm and continue if I really like to, but in this case, I just cancel it. I can start picking my references belongs to my subassembly levels only, and that will be make sure I am actually using my references properly. And instead of creating a lot of external references and circular references, I'm just utilizing the correct assemblies to referencing to. So really powerful feature again. Okay, so again, Creo always have all sort of all these mechanism connection, very powerful tools within Creo assemblies to help you with the whole mechanism joins and things like that.